hush falls over the crowd. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity of Greater Hartford. I am Reverend Kathleen Kerswig, but please call me Kathleen. I'm happy to be here again with you this week. It's very exciting. We get to talk about choices today. Yay, yay. Welcome to all of you here in the sanctuary, and welcome to all of you out there on the internet land, internet world, Zoom, and not Zoom, Facebook and our website. We're glad you're all here. We have a guest musician today, Rusty Koenig. Welcome, Rusty. Yay. Thanks for joining us today. It would be terrible if I had to sing my way through this service on my own. So we have a board member on duty today. This is the board member who you can go to with a question, any concerns that you may have. It is Maria Main. Maria, would you just stand real quick? There she is. Yay, thank you for your service. And so, go see her if you have anything you'd like to bring up to her today. When you arrived, you should have been handed a bulletin for today and information about the songs that we're going to sing together. So just a reminder, you can support us in recycling these bulletins and song sheets. There's a basket on the bench in the atrium. So when you leave here, you just bring those papers with you and you can put them in there. Unless you want to take them home as a souvenir, you can do that too. Okay. So in your bulletin, there is a welcome affirmation. For those of you who are online, you can go to our website and the bulletin should be there as well. Let's say the welcome affirmation together. Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. We welcome, value, and include all people. I like to add a little no exceptions to that little phrase. For the month of August, we will dance with our divine powers. Stay tuned, there will be dancing. And we will focus on the spiritual faculty of will. As you recite this affirmation, know that we are praying collectively with one another. The affirmation is on your bulletin. Again, it's on the website as well. So if you'll pull that out, let's say this affirmation together and really embrace and absorb the words that we're speaking. Together, I embrace my spiritual power of will, which helps me to choose wisely while respecting the preferences of others and maintaining my own healthy boundaries. Whew. Those are big words, friends. Take them to heart. Okay, so I invite you all, whether you're online or here, let's try to incorporate this affirmation into our daily prayer practice. Thereby it creates a collective positive vibration. And I don't know about you, but I think we could use all the positive vibrations we can muster, yes? So we are responsible for that, so let's do it. As we prepare for our opening prayer, our worship assistant, Rob Morehouse, will light our Christ candle to symbolically remind us that the Christ light always shines within each of us. Okay. And now I'm going to do an opening prayer. So I just invite you now to help me begin by just taking a nice deep breath together. And as we exhale out slowly, we feel the muscles in our body start to relax. We let go of any lingering thoughts that may have been clinging on as we arrived here this morning. We bring our attention to the here and now. This morning we look forward to discussing what it means to use the power of will, what it means to make choices with confidence. We breathe into each sacred moment. We breathe out love and peace and joy. And that feeling that we're feeling inside, well, that's a feeling of gratitude. And so we are committed to showing that gratitude in our words, in our actions. We take these words into the silence for just a moment. Thank you, sweet Spirit, for the understanding that we can use every day, every moment. And so it is. Amen. Okay. And now we're going to have some music. So, Rusty, what are we singing?
So we're going to open with a tune called It's in Every One of Us. So if you'd stand and join us in song, here we go. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by. It's in every one of us by and by.
Thank you, Rusty, and thanks to our congregational choir. My name is Rob Morehouse. I'm secretary of the Board of Trustees here, and I am happy to be your worship assistant for this service today. Here's what's happening in our church community. This Sunday, today, is potluck and birthday cake Sunday. You still have time to get to the church and sample the goodies. If you didn't bring a dish, no worries, we have plenty. And you can always leave a note, a love offering in the basket on the food table. We want to celebrate with those having a birthday, so please stand when I say your name. Kirk Smallage, Kathleen Kerswig, Steve Gallo, Hamilton Gallo, and Brooklyn Gallo. For anyone else that I may have missed, if it's your birthday, please stand, your birth month. Remember that next Sunday, August 10th, we will be offering the Reiki healing service right here in the sanctuary. There is no fee, but you will have the opportunity to leave a love offering of your choice. If you want more information, please see the flyer and cards on the table in the atrium. Mark your calendars to come early on Sunday, August 17th, because Marty Espinola will be leading a sacred circle meditation from 9 to 9:45. We hope that you will take the opportunity to participate in this time of stillness and enjoy the presence of the One. If you'd like to know more about this sacred meditation service, flyers are available in the atrium. Thank you, Marty, for bringing this ancient spiritual practice to Unity. Until the end of August, Unity of Greater Hartford is participating in the Manchester Area Council of Churches food drive. You can place your non-perishable food items in the wagon under the green food drive banner in the community room. If you want to drop off items during the week, a blue bin is located outside the front doors. Feel free to leave items in the bin. Not sure what to donate? There are flyers in the atrium listing some non-perishable food items needed. Please note that you can donate these as well as any other non-perishable items. Thank you to everyone who has participated so far. And now it's greeting time. Please stand as we offer each other the Gandhi blessing for peace, which is a call and response. Let us work together for unity and peace. And now repeat after me. I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your needs. Our wisdom flows from the highest source. And I salute that source in you. Amen. Please have a seat. Please join me in affirming our statement of faith, which is on the bulletin. Together, there is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as my life. God, the good omnipotence. Amen. Today's daily word is truth, and the affirmation is, I speak my truth with clarity and compassion. And the message reads, living in an increasingly polarized world, I am aware not everyone will share my perspective or see the life the way I do. As much as I want to live harmoniously with others, I also want to stand up for what I believe, what I know is true for me. I appreciate that others feel the same way about their beliefs. I speak my truth. I center myself in my divinity while acknowledging the divinity of all others. I am honest and grounded, staying steady if someone does not agree with me. Likewise, I receive others' truths as I would want them to receive mine. The presence of God is within me. I am a spiritual being living with integrity, speaking words of truth with spiritual power. Our biblical reference is from the book of Zechariah, chapter 8, verse 16. These are the things that you shall do. Speak the truth to one another. Render in your gate judgments that are true and make for peace. Again, the daily word is truth, and the affirmation is, I speak my truth with clarity and compassion. And so it is. Amen. And now I'd like to invite Reverend Kathleen to the podium.
Now it's time for our offering blessing. This is the opportunity that you have to give love offerings and tithes to keep this ministry moving forward and offering new and exciting programs and these services, etc. So I'm inviting you to take out whatever gift you're offering today and hold it in your hands, maybe hold it on your heart, whatever form it takes. Recognize that what you hold in your hand and heart is given with a loving intention. It's love in motion. It is God in action. And as it moves through this time, this space, and this experience, it is setting us up to do great things in this world. So let us acknowledge the blessing of what we share right here and right now with a deep breath. Let yourself feel as grateful as you can to God within you as your one true source. And then join me in our offering blessing, which you can find in the bulletin. Together, divine love flowing as me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. And so it is. Amen. Will the ushers please come forward? Well, I'm glad I don't have to do this every week. Oh, my goodness. Oh, thank you, Rusty. That was perfect. I wanted to do ballet. I just wanted to do ballet. For those of you who have not been here a lot or don't know anything about me, I take things kind of literally sometimes. We don't do that in Unity a lot, but sometimes we do. And so when I heard back in the beginning of the year that our theme was dancing with our divine powers, I took it literally. And the first time I sashayed up here, it was kind of like a jazz kind of dance. And the second time, I think, was jazz. Last week, or the week before, I did a soft shoe. And so I thought ballet or interpretive dance this week would be good, and I wasn't sure you would be able to interpret it, so that's why I chose ballet. So my first question, are you still dancing with your powers? Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I can't speak for how you should be or how you should act. What I can speak to is what's working for me, what's not working for me, and I can make some suggestions. And you take it home and you play with it and you experiment and you think about it, and then you go from there. And you dance with it, yes, of course, right? But one of the themes that I've been carrying through this year all along the way, especially for those of you who have not heard my talks recently, is this. We are in a very chaotic time. Everything feels out of whack. Doesn't matter what your belief system is. It doesn't believe what side of the fence you're on. Everybody feels like they're in chaos, right? And so I challenged you, and I have kept saying this over and over again. When agitated, start thinking about what you believe. I took the 5 unity principles, right, of God is everywhere present, and we are all inherently good. Those first 2 are difficult in and of themselves with what we physically see happening on social media and reading headlines and all that stuff. So I challenged you and I said, think about, do I still believe that God is everywhere present, even if I don't see it per se? Right? Do I still believe that people are inherently good? I'm still there, by the way. I still do believe that. Every time I say this, I say, see me next week. Things may be different, right? But right now, I'm still there. But that does not mean that I am approving of everything that's going on around me. It doesn't mean that I am approving or thinking that it's great to see hate speech or anything else, right? I don't like what I'm seeing. However, I still believe that there is no exception to the idea that the Christ presence is within each and every person, period. No exceptions. Which is a tough idea to wrap my head around some weeks. I'll be honest. And I said to you, and I've been saying all along, think about what you believe. Now, if your answer is, I don't think I still believe this, that is okay. What? The Unity minister is saying it's okay to not think everybody's good? Or it's okay to think that God isn't everywhere present? Yeah, right now in this human moment, you may be thinking that. Dive deeper. Think about, do I really believe in a power greater than myself that doesn't include everybody? And just be willing to dive deeper. Be willing to get uncomfortable, right? What's the phrase? I need to get comfortable with the feeling of uncomfortability, right? I need to get comfortable in that because life is ever-changing. Ever-changing. Nothing is the same. Trust me, I'm not the same person I was a year ago, 5 years ago, certainly not 30 years ago. If you know of anybody who is the same person 30 years later, that just means they haven't done much growth. They haven't experienced much growth, right? Or they're digging their feet in and they're not moving, and you can't make me, right? I've been stubborn like that too. I get it. But my point is, ask yourself, what do I believe? Do I still believe it? If the answer is no, be willing to explore. If the answer is yes, I still believe I create my life experiences through the thoughts that I have. I still believe that prayer and meditation is where it's at. It's where I can, really create what I'm looking for. And then Principle 5 says it's not enough for me to know any of this stuff. Principle 5 says I've got to put it into action. My knowledge is not enough. I got to go out there and I got to demonstrate and I got to experience and I have to experiment and I have to be willing to fail so I can try again. All of this has been rolling around in my head. That's why it's really good I get these opportunities to just kind of spit it all out for you to hear. And then somebody's going to pick up something, right, along the way, and maybe it'll help, I hope. If I help one person today with one idea, great. You know, it's a challenge. It's just a challenge, that's all there is. But I get reminded every week that I get to speak at whatever Unity Church I'm at, whether it's online or in person. What I get to do is I get to remind myself of where I'm at and what I need work on. Yes, Unity ministers need to work on themselves still. The ordination doesn't mean everything, which my 3-year anniversary was just a few days ago, July 31st. 2022, Reverend Jim Rosemurgy stood right here, a Unity minister, and he ordained me in this church. He spoke here that Sunday. What a blessing that was, and you guys all surrounded me with love, and here I am 3 years later, and I'm still a baby at ministry, but I'm working on it, and so I'm glad I'm still on this journey, especially now, because I get to use these principles in everything. And what I'm here to talk to you today about is making wise choices. Is there anyone here, and maybe anyone out in the online world as well who's watching this, is there anyone here who's ever had a tough choice to make? I'll gather from the laughter in the room that everybody has experienced that at least one time, right? Some people have trouble making decisions all the time. I have a dear friend of mine who really struggles with that. And you know, as friends, I'm not a minister to her, and we're just friends and very connected. I try to help her walk through it, right? Making choices can be very difficult sometimes. Our power of will, in the 12 powers that we have, right? Some of them are faith and strength and wisdom and love and so on and so forth. But this power of will is the ability to make choices and decisions with confidence. Now, see, that's the phrase that we sometimes forget. With confidence, right? What if I make the wrong decision? Anybody ask themselves that question? And then it paralyzes you? And then you can't do anything, right? You can't make any choices at all, and you don't know what to do. And this is what happened to me recently when I was switching insurance coverage. I'm 3 days onto Medicare. How do I look? Good? What a whirlwind that was, right? And I was really finding myself in that whirlwind of, what if I make the wrong choice? What if I don't make the right choice, and then I can't go back? And so I used the principles. I kind of looked into it and realized I really couldn't make that bad a decision, right? And then when the questions that popped up for me about certain circumstances in my particular case, they got answered, and I realized I would be able to change. By the end of the year, I could make a change to the choice because we're already in August, and so I was okay with it. I still don't know how I feel about turning 65 in a couple of weeks, but that's another story altogether. The decisions, right? I got caught up in, what if I make the wrong choice? We've been there, right? Right? So here's what I've learned along the way. I have learned that sometimes if I am faced, let's say looking for a new job, right? This is not true literally in my life, but let's say I'm unhappy in the job that I have. I have a 40-hour-a-week job as an accounting coordinator, and then I'm looking for a new job, right? I'm really dissatisfied in this job, and I'm looking for a new job, and I get an offer for a new job. Let's say I take the new job, quit the old job, and the new job doesn't work out. Okay, you with me? Does that mean that I made the wrong decision? Not necessarily. Actually, I don't believe we can make the wrong decision. I think Spirit kind of guides us no matter what, and we're always led in the direction we're supposed to go. But for argument's sake, just from a human level of thinking, let's say, did I make the wrong decision? Well, you know what? Maybe that new job didn't work out, but if I had stayed at the old one, it might have even gotten worse. And I will never know, will I, right? Because I quit the old job, so I don't know what would have happened in the future. And I went to the new job, and maybe the new job was better than what my old job would have evolved into. When I found out about that way of thinking, about kind of reframing the things a little bit, making choices and making decisions got a little bit easier for me. Not a lot, but a little bit, right? I'm going to share another story with you. I had a dear friend in Florida. Well, I'm going to change the names to protect the innocent, right? So we'll call her Angie. And Angie and we were in a group of friends that met almost on a weekly basis, and then once a month we would go out to eat together, and it was a fairly large group of women, probably 10 or 12 of us, and for years, for at least 5 years, she talked about how much she wanted to open her own restaurant. And she had been working, she went from, like the lowest position of what is it, like maybe dishwasher, like that's the furthest away from running the business. So she was a dishwasher, it was very important work, but she went from that position to, cooking, and then she learned a little bit about being a chef, and then she was out as a waitstaff. She did every single position, hostessing, the whole 9 yards, to get enough experience to be able to run her own place. She really put in the work, at least 10 years worth, right? And she finally had the opportunity to take the money that she had saved, put it into a business, and open her own restaurant. 6 months after the restaurant opened, it appeared that everything was going beautifully. It was always busy. It was kind of hard to get a table, except if you knew Angie and then you got in because Angie gave you a table. It was one of those things. I felt kind of special. And 6 months in, we're at one of our dinners, and somebody says, Angie, how's it going? Like, how's it going? And we all expected to hear, it's great. It's everything I ever dreamed of. And she sat there, she paused for a moment, she said, not really sure this is what I want. I'm telling you, like, I gasped when I heard her say it, because we had been on this journey with her for a while. We had supported her, and it was so quick to be, I don't know if I really want it or not. Are you kidding? And she did have that conversation with herself. Maybe I made the wrong decision. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. Now, running your own restaurant, most of us realize it's a lot of work. It's 24/7, basically, because if you're not at the place, you're thinking about the place, right? And making these big decisions all the time and stuff. Now, the end of that story is that Angie didn't buy into the feelings she was having at 6 months. She kept going anyway, and it became a thriving business, and she stayed there for quite a few years, and then I believe she sold it. But the moral of the story is she could have very easily, after 6 months, go, I don't know. I don't know if I want it or not. Have you ever been there? Have you ever had made one of those decisions, right? Like, I really thought this was it. Maybe a relationship, maybe a job, maybe buying a home, right? Like, I really thought this was it, and this is nothing like I thought it was going to be, right? Again, this is where unity principles come into play, at least for me. Like, I find them very, very helpful in knowing to use prayer and meditation to sit and really ponder what's really going on, what's really at the core of my upheaval, kind of a thing. Because it's always all about me. Is it always all about you? Because it's always all about me, right? If somebody that I work with calls out sick, it's about how it's affecting me, right? It's not, not anymore. It used to be, though. I used to always worry as a manager, like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to have double the work to do, and meanwhile they're sick. Shouldn't I care a little bit more about that? So I'm glad I outgrew that stage. the power of will. How can I use that in my life to make choices and feel confident in them, to make those decisions with confidence, knowing if it doesn't work out, I'm going to still be okay. In every moment while I am here on this planet, having this experience, I am okay. I may have moments of stress, I may have a lot of things to deal with, but the point is that I am always okay in this present moment, right? And so I can change my mind. I can change my choice. If I can't change my choice, I might not make the decision right away. In my particular case with Medicare, I only had a certain limited amount of time to make the decision. I think it's 90 days after my birthday, and then you're kind of into a different kind of decision-making process, right? I was the one that was putting the pressure on myself, by the way. I want to make that very, very clear. I had all this stuff going on in my head, right? And as long as I recognize that I am in charge of creating my experiences, I can change my thinking, I can reframe things, right? I can do a lot of things. We can all do a lot of things to help us move through any challenge we may have. Found a quote from Glennon Doyle Melton that says, "Compassion does not just happen. More than anything else, compassion is a choice. It's a choice we make that love is more important than comfort or convenience." I will say that again. Compassion does not just happen. More than anything else, compassion is a choice we make that love is more important than comfort or convenience. Every moment of every day, I have opportunities to change or decide what attitude I'm going to have. How about the phrase attitude adjustment? Anybody here ever need an attitude adjustment? Because my hand's raised first. You just wake up on that wrong side of the bed and everything irritates you, right? Or I'm driving on the road and somebody makes one teeny tiny minor mistake on the road and I am fit to be tied, right? And then other days I wake up and I just feel what I like to refer to as being spiritually fit, right? I wake up, I do my prayer, meditation, I have my cup of tea. I'm not a coffee drinker, I'll drink it, but tea is my preference. I'll have my cup of tea, I'm ready to go, and somebody makes, really cuts me off in the road, and I'm in my car going, oh, they probably need to get somewhere quickly, and it's really all about my attitude and my feelings and how I am in the moment. That's where my reactions come from. They don't really come from what that other person did or did not do. This is just for me, right? How about this one from Stephen Covey? There are 3 constants in life. You ready? Change, choice, and principles. Change, choice, and principles. 3 constants in life. You may or may not agree with that. I definitely agree with change. And I definitely do agree with principles. I believe in these spiritual principles we keep talking about. They are universal. And again, that's a reminder for all of us that universal means true for everyone, including people in government. No, say it ain't so. It is so, right? It's a tough reminder, though. It's a very tough reminder. And then Charles Swindoll said, the remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. And that gives me an image. What attitude am I going to embrace for the day? I used to be a person who liked to hold a grudge. And if you did something to me, I could stay mad for 2 or 3 weeks. Didn't matter if you were married to me or not. I can't do that anymore. It's just not a part of my makeup anymore. It used to be. I remember those days, but they're long ago, and I'm glad I released those types of, that way of reacting to things, right? There's always something to be grateful for. I can attest to this. I can tell you and promise you that every single challenge that I have had in my life has brought me a blessing. Not always immediately, right? Not, like my daughter was in a severe car accident in the year 2000, and she got hurt and got a TBI and, has been dealing with that for 25 years, okay? It was a week after her 17th birthday. And so the challenge is, like I didn't see blessings that first year or even that second year. But as time went on, there were many blessings along the way, right? It's not that I wish, oh, I'm so glad this happened. That's not it either, right? But every challenge that I've had, there is a blessing that comes from it. There is a lesson that comes from it. I learn more about myself, I learn more about others, and then I can move forward. And what am I going to do with those lessons? Okay, so that's the other invitation to you. Not only am I sending you home with what do I believe and do I still believe it and all that, but what are you doing with the lessons that are presented to you? That's the change that we can spread throughout the world, truthfully. And we do it by demonstration. We do it by setting an example. We do it by showing people what it is like to demonstrate love in public. I'm not talking about romantic love. I'm talking about being kind to people. I'm talking about standing up for others. I'm talking about sending peace to someone's heart who you know is hurting, right? Just a little text saying, I'm thinking of you, when you know they're struggling, can go so far, right? And what ends up happening is you send that love out and you actually receive it back again because you can't help it. There's a cycle. There's an energy flow going on, folks, right? I have 3 pages of notes. I didn't even get past the fourth line. This is what I do. The last thing I want to leave you with is this. I want you to consider playing with the 12 powers for the rest of the year. And I'm going to give you an example of using the power of will in connection with wisdom and understanding. So imagine if you have this ability to make choices, but then you combine it with the power of wisdom, which brings that wisdom forth for you, right? Like, what's the wisest choice I can make? And then combine it with spiritual understanding. Holy cow, right? How powerful could that be if you used that for every decision you made? Well, maybe not, am I going to have tacos tonight or am I going to have Chinese food, or maybe not that decision, but, right? We have access to 12 powers that can do so much if we allow it. I can't stand here and wish it for someone else. I wish I could. But I can do it for myself, and then I can demonstrate, and then I can lead by example. You can lead by example, and then others may just follow, right? By the light of will, I choose, I commit, I am willing. By the light of wisdom, everything I need to know is within me. I evaluate, discern, and intuit wisely. And by the light of understanding, I learn from my life, realizing the truth of my divine identity. I live by insight. Take those 3 things, combine them, and look out, world. In the midst of this chaos, in the midst of what appears to be so much anger and hurt and hate, etc., we know that the truth is peace is already here within us. What am I going to do to show it today? Right? We've got this. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. I'm so glad to be on this journey with all of you. Okay, so my script tells me it's time to form a circle. We're going to, so here at Unity of Greater Hartford, we're not always sure what the circle's going to look like, but it's going to look like something. So either down the center or across the front, however you want to form it, we're going to be singing our peace song and then move into the prayer for protection. But just come on in. You do not have to hold hands. You can hold elbows, whatever you feel comfortable doing. I guess we're doing it down the center today, or maybe not. Nope. Okay. Okay. So it's a semicircle today. Yay. Okay. Not trying to mislead you. It's just we never know where Spirit's leading us on a Sunday. Okay. And now we're going to do the peace song.
All right. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
If you wish to remain standing in the circle, please do so for our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Please take your seats. As Reverend Kathleen extinguishes the Christ candle, we remember and affirm that the Christ light within us can never be dimmed, for we are always one with the divine. I just want to say I did not forget her name. I skipped a few lines on the script and I was like, where am I?
Thank you, Rob. I want to thank everyone who had something to do with today's service. Everybody did in some way, shape, or form just by showing up here, right? Just an amazing time. I want to thank our prayer chaplains for holding us in sacred prayer. We do have a prayer chaplain with us today. Lynn, if you would please stand. Thank you. To pray with Lynn after the service, just simply come to the front of the sanctuary. She'll be here waiting for you. And if you don't know what to do, you just say, "I'd like prayer," and Lynn will take it from there. Your prayer requests can also be placed on the prayer card that's in the pew pocket, and the prayer box is in the back corner of this room on the prayer table. Alternatively, if you are online, you can email your prayer request to prayerrequest@unityhartford.org. Our prayer chaplains will be honored to pray with you. There are so many others who helped with today's service. Let me list them all for you. Today's worship assistant, Rob Morehouse, our hospitality team led by Joan, Georgine, Wendy, Maria, Corey, and many others. Our tech team, Marty, Michael, Julie, Tony, Jim, and Corey. Our setup team and our greeters, Marie and Lee. Ushers, Lois and Bob. Our guest musician, Rusty Koenig? Yay, okay. And now I'm reading from a script, and I want you to know this when this next line comes out, okay? You ready? And of course, our amazing speaker, me. I swear I did not type that, okay? So I'm just letting you know that I did a talk once called "If You Spot It, You Got It." And it's more about taking the positive attributes from someone and understanding that if you spot it, you've actually got those same qualities already within you. And so I gave the example during the talk of, so for instance, if you're at church on a Sunday morning and there's this amazing female speaker in front of you and you recognize that, you go, wow, she's amazing. And they all started to giggle a little bit, and then I said, if you spot it, you got it. You have the same capabilities, right? Okay. I want to thank everyone for all that you've done to help make this fun. If this is your first time here, welcome. We want to share a packet of information with you that provides additional details about this Unity Center and the Unity movement in general. As you go through the doors at the rear of the sanctuary, there's a high-top table to the left. Feel free to take one. And if you're watching online, you can email us at officemgr@unityhartford.org with your mailing address so we can send that information to you. Whether you're here in the sanctuary or online, thank you for being with us, and understand what a blessing you are for us to be here. So thank you for that. Rusty, what is our final song for today?
I'm going to close with "I Can See Clearly Now." So if you take a stand, and here we go. I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. To be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain has gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here's that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue sky. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue sky. I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
That is one of my favorite songs ever. You can have a seat for just a second. I love that song. I have a lot of friends. I'm a recovery coach. I have a lot of friends in recovery, and that song means so much about seeing clearly now. It just really does. So thank you for a wonderful performance today. Thank you to everyone for joining us. We look forward to seeing you on Facebook at 7 p.m. for our Wednesday evening 30-minute meditation service, as well as next Sunday for our 10:30 a.m. service. Is that when Reverend Christine is back? Yeah. Yay! Reverend Christine is back from her sabbatical. Nice. It will be held in person right here in the sanctuary. You can also join us via our website or on Facebook. Enjoy your week. And remember, what do I believe? Do I still believe? How am I demonstrating it? And so it is. Amen. Thank you.